Hello, everybody, and welcome to the long-awaited, much enjoyed September reading wrap-up by Jerry Jocko. For the month of September, I read 10 very, very delicious, very, very good, very, very fun books. However, I only have 8 in front of me, so we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna chat. I'm gonna give my honest thoughts here. And yes, I am boiling. I'm boiling hot. I just recorded a TikTok and my fan was on really loud, so I had to turn it off. But am I gonna take the jacket off now? I'm gonna give my honest and whatever. I'm just gonna talk about my feelings of these books. I was gonna make it like I was gonna give like a disclaimer. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on these books and we're gonna have a good time with it. So the first book, not in order, just in order of the stack, is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I loved this book. I loved it. I actually bought this book a few months ago, and I actually before that went to the library and picked up a bunch of books because if you don't know, my dog died. Not that one. He's here. This is Blue. My dog Sunday died, and I wanted to fill the void by reading a whole bunch of books and finding anything to distract me. So I went to the library. I got this book. I got Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang, and I got like 2 other books, and I only ended up reading the 2. I think it was an Emily Henry book. I can't remember which one it was. Oh, Funny Story. It was Funny Story. And then the other book, I think I didn't finish it, and I just returned all of them. So this was in that stack of books, and my friend Anna told me, she said, baby girl, maybe you don't want to read that right now. Maybe you don't want to read that. You're going through a lot right now. Maybe you should not read that book. And I was like, okay, sure, yeah. So I ended up not. And I will say, very thankful to Anna that I listened and that she gave me the advice that I needed, because maybe I would not have been able to deal with it. But I love this book so much. I love a found family when it's done right. I love a found family when you know that they're going to be family, but they don't quite know it yet. And it's taken them forever to make that connection. And also to really find out that they are, in fact, family. So I really like this. I also should probably say that I'm going to try to give like a non-spoilery thought process on how I felt about these books and the contents within them. So disclaimer, I'm going to talk about some spoilers, just teeny tiny minuscule spoilers, okay? So anyways, yeah, I really like this book. I gave this book a 4.25. I feel like I said a different rating in my TikTok video. Maybe I did give it a 4.75. Either way, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. It really got me right here in my heart, and I definitely cannot recommend it more. The next book in this stack is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Now this book, I said I'm hot, so sorry. It took me a bit to get into it, and it took me a bit to get back into it, because the thing that was missing from... It's okay, baby. Blue, it's okay. The one thing that was missing from the story for me, and this could just be the LGBT in me, they should have kissed. If they kissed, I wonder if they would have had the issues that they did. And my question to you, if you have read the series, did they kiss in the second book? Isn't there a third book coming out? Are they gonna kiss in the third book? Like, if we go through 3 books and they haven't kissed, I think if they kissed, they would have solved their issues. I just want them to kiss. I don't know. This book was good. I really enjoyed it. I really like quick chapters, and these chapters were very fast, meaning like some chapters were a page or 2 long, and I really, really liked that. The pacing was really good. I'm interested to see what happens in the second book. I don't know when I'll read it. Maybe I'll read it in October, or maybe I'll push it and I won't read it until this time next year. We never know. But I did like it. Vengeful. So what's the other one? I did like it though. I think I gave it 4 stars. Don't listen to me though. Just check my Fable, because I think I've said so far 2 different ratings for these books. So take what I say rating number wise with a grain of salt. But I did really like it. And at some point I will read the next book in the series at some point in life. And then I read Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick, and I want to say that while this was not my favorite, I very much preferred the first book over this one. It was okay. It was pretty good. It was not my favorite. I enjoyed and Ione's story, their stories together and their stories apart, and I wish that we would have gotten more for Raven and Elspeth. I think we were missing a lot of that, especially towards the ending. Literally, if the epilogue would have, insinuated more about them or like anything at all from what I can remember, I probably would have given this a higher rating. But, it just is what it is. Out of the 2, I definitely prefer One Dark Window. But Two Twisted Crowns, I think it was an okay way to end their story. It wasn't a bad book at all. It wasn't a bad story. I just wish we had a little bit more of Raven and Elspeth's reunion, because we did not get that, which I think is a bit funky. I don't know. The next book, A Study in Dwelling by Ava Weed. I really like this book. I said on my TikTok, this is like one of those books where you really have to set the ambiance right. You really have to get the mood right. You really have to... It makes it sound like it's a chore, but it's just one of those books where the ambiance is paramount to really enjoying it and really getting into the setting of this story. I had those YouTube videos where it's raining and there's like nice little music played in the background, or like no music at all, and like I will only read this book at night, and it just really helped me get in there, because when I read this, it was like hot. It was like 90 degrees, and this is like a cold, wet, rainy, moldy book, and so I had to give myself that I had to really reel it in and get myself into this book. But I did really enjoy it. I did a read with me for like an hour of this book. It did take me a bit to get back into it after I posted that video, but really enjoyed it. I think I gave this a 3.75. The second book came out, and I do really want to read that one. And also, I just think this book is gorgeous. Let me take this dust jacket off of her. Blue Quan. This is one of the prettiest books. Look at her. She's so pretty. She's gorgeous. It makes me feel like I have like a classic on my shelf. Like this could be a classic, honestly. This could be a classic. And then obviously the sprayed edges are just gorgeous, baby. Gorgeous, darling. Just absolutely stunning. The next book is An Ember in the Ashes. Yes, I did finally read An Ember in the Ashes. And I really freaking like this. This book is so good. It was obviously so good from the beginning, but it was one of those books, again, where I started reading it, and then I don't want to say I got bored, but I got sidetracked, and then I just, like, stopped reading it, and then I put it aside, and then it was just, like, sitting there, collecting dust, and I would look at my shelf, and I'm like, one day I want to get to you. But what helped me really get back into this is listening to the audiobook, which I got on Libby, and it was everything to me. Plus, this is, like, a really good book to, like, sit and hold and read. Like, it's floppy. It's floppy. You know how much we love a floppy book over here. So this was like so good. I was gonna say fun. What does that say about me? I guess in a way it was fun, but it wasn't like, ooh, like it wasn't like a walk in the park, a breeze. It was fun. It was terrifying in a lot of ways. It was very grim and dark. But to say I didn't enjoy it all would be a lie. I did really like this one. And then the next book I read is actually A Torch Against the Night, which is the second book in the series. Literally same thoughts. I'm just waiting for the third and fourth book on Libby to be ready, because the person with the third book is taking a sweet time, and I need that audiobook because I like reading this series with that audiobook. It's just so good. The narrators, so good. So yeah, I'm gonna need whoever that is. You know who you are. You're probably out there. You're probably looking at this right now. Finish. What is it? A Reaper at the Gates, so that Big Mama can get to it. I really like this series, though. I really like it. I really like it. And I need to pick up the other 3 copies. I read Catabasis. I'm streaming right now. That scared me. I read Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. That is another book that I don't physically have with me because while I can enjoy it and appreciate it for what it is, it just wasn't the book for me. I liked certain parts of it. I would get to like a few chapters and be like, oh my God, this is so fun. This is really good. Or I'm really liking the commentary and academia here. Like, this is nearing everything to me. And then something would happen and then I would be like, oh, I'm like mentally checked out again. So it's just one of those books where I had a hard time checking in and not checking in. I just had a hard time staying in throughout front to back. Maybe I should read it again next year and see if I have different thoughts. I don't want to read it again anytime soon because I don't really have an interest to, but I could see myself reading it like a year from now and comparing my thoughts then to my thoughts at this current moment and seeing how I feel about it. That was my first fully read R.F. Kuang book, but it did not deter me because, baby, I read Babel. Babel. They said Babel in the audiobook. So I'm saying Babel. I read Babel by R.F. Kuang, and this, I've been thinking about this. I finished reading it 2 days ago, and I'm still like very much thinking about it. I'm still looking at TikToks. I'm still like, oh my God, like Robin didn't deserve this. Oh my God. It's just one of those books that can really stay and really last with you. And the only thing that I will say that could possibly be a spoiler, even though I probably am one of the last few people on earth that has not read this book, is Robin is as unreliable of a narrator as one can be. And it is completely due to his circumstance and the things that happened to him growing up. And it's just, it sucks real bad and I hate it real bad. But the relationships and the friendships that he had were so different in his head than they were on paper and to the readers. And that just makes me so incredibly sad for him and the people that he considered his friends. It was just, I don't know. It was also just, I don't know. Could I say this is probably one of the best? I mean, the last 2 that are over here are like top contenders of the best books that I've read this year. I can't lie to you, but this is up there. This right now at this point, with me having read 38 books so far this year, is in my top 5. I cannot lie to you. This is in my top 5. I really enjoyed this. Really, really enjoyed this. And I'm glad that I didn't let my experience with Catabasis, while it wasn't what I thought it would be, I'm glad I didn't let it stop me from enjoying R.F. Kuang's other works, because V. Schwab is my favorite author other than Tracy Deonn. And so far, Tracy has had no misses, but there are like some books by V. Schwab that I'm sure if I read it, I probably wouldn't like it as much as I like one of these books here, or The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is one of my absolute favorite books in the world. I'm glad it didn't stop me from finding a book by R.F. Kuang that I love, because I don't know, would I be the same person I am now if I didn't read Babel and like really fall in love with it? Who knows? Anyways, Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. I was gonna curse. I really freaked with it. It was so good. The audiobook, so good. I will say sometimes it takes me a bit to get used to a narrator's voice. And I read the first 2 books on my own. I didn't have the audiobook accompanying me. But baby, let me tell you, I can't think of their names right now, everybody's names. But everybody who worked on and read this book in the Libby audiobook session, whatever, ate down. It was so good. It was just so freaking enjoyable and fast paced. I think I read it in like 2 days or something like that. Granted, I did start back at like, of course, you know me, I get about 100 some pages in a book and then I put it down, whatever. I think I got like 100, somewhere between 120 and 150 pages in it, and then I put it down. This is also like really heavy. I got back into it and I remembered how much I freaking love Brianna and I love this world, and I'm so grateful to Tracy Deonn for coming up with this idea and making this book. And my voice cracked, I just realized, but that's okay because I love Tracy Deonn and I love her pen. Her pen is great. Her pen is great. And the next book, I think it's the 4th book, the final book, I know it's going to change my life. And yes, I am super tempted to reread Legendborn, the first book in the Legendborn cycle, for the 3rd time. That will be the 2nd time this year, girl. Like, put the book down. Put the book down. Put the book down. And then the last book that I read, I think, is Burial Bones in the Midnight Soil by B. Schwab. Girl, absolutely no notes. Absolutely no notes. Loved it. I will say I looked at some TikToks, as one does. I got my daily news and people were talking about the difference of the ending in the published copy versus the ARC copy, and how they didn't like the last line that was changed in the final published copy versus the ARC. And I can see how, for sure, especially if you read that and read this one and you're like, wait, what? It kind of changes the meaning of Alice and the things that she went throughout the book. I completely understand that. I didn't read the ARC, so like I didn't have that immediate thought. And when I read, you know, all the way through the end, I was like, yeah, I was like, ooh, okay, girl. But I think it was Mandy. I saw Mandy's and I was like, oh shit, yeah. Like I kind of wish they didn't change that line, but they did, and like it is what it is, and that's fine. But I really, really, really liked this. This was so good. And the person that narrated for Sabine, never mind, she was toxic. She was like really toxic, like not even just like, oh, she's toxic, like she was toxic, like very like icky toxic. But I really did like it. I really did enjoy it. Sabine, never mind, I'm just keep that thought to myself and keep that thought to myself. Those are all the books that I read in the month of September. Honestly, I keep wanting to curse. I locked the flip in, okay? I locked the freak in. And I really enjoyed the books that I read this year. And I am making it, actually I made this like in August, the decision to read all of the books on my bookshelf that I have not read. I think I still got like 15 to like 20-ish left that I need to read. But we have so far put in like a really good dent of my physical books on my bookshelf that I have not read, that I have now read. And I think we're going to go through that goal. And once I finish all of the books, that's when I'll really go book shopping, because I have not gone book shopping in a long periodically time. I'm talking about like more than 3 books. Like I want to walk out of Barnes & Noble and Golden Fig and all my other bookstores with like 20 books in a bag. So that's the plan. That's the goal. That's it. I'm going to actually go read Yellowface right now because the audiobook is ready for me. So, yippee! And I'll see you guys in the next one. Say bye.